Hello everyone. Happy New Year. This is this is the first video for 2023, and it's a new year. We got some new fish, got rid of some other fish, and got some more in their place. Not necessarily in their place, but because they produce less of a bio load than what these other guys did. So I'm going to show you the 75 gallon, which is where all the new fish are. Very popular fish. One of them is a very popular fish everyone knows, and the other one might be a bit more elusive from what I read and from how difficult it is to order for us. And so let's go ahead and start out with the 75 gallon. And the fish, get talking about the fish in there real quick. So here it is. New fish in here. Let's see. Of course, we'll talk about these guys because they're right here. But I got 6 basmati rainbows, which is a fish that I've wanted for a while. It's a very gorgeous fish, as you can see here. The lights just came on. And they're young. They're young right now, but of course they will mature in no time. By the end of the year, I think they'll be their full size, if not close. But there are 6 of them in here, and they're getting along fine with everyone. I suspect they'll be about the same size as these Congo tetras, if not a little smaller. But eventually, I'm going to give these Congos back to the store. Which I work at a fish store. But that also leads me into the next thing. I don't know if anyone saw it really, but I put a community post out regarding the Juripari. I've said this is the last night with the Juripari, and I took them back to the store and put them in the display tank. And it's a 135 gallon display tank. It's plenty of space. They were quite big in this tank, and I thought they would look small in that tank. That tank has primarily larger cichlids, but they fit right in. Their size was just about the same size as some of those other fish in there, and so they really were bigger than a lot of them too, and they fit in beautifully there. So hopefully they do well and thrive. I get to see them at work whenever I go there on Saturdays, and so I'll post another community post of the tank that they're in and when we see them. So anyway, basmati rainbows. They're just absolutely gorgeous. In here should be what I believe to be 4 males and 2 females, but in the future maybe get a couple more, another male and another female, just to help round out the group. But of course, being a rainbow fish, they're like this flow right here from the spray bar, which is quite nasty, but that's okay. Covered in algae. But they love the flow, and they sit right here, and sometimes they'll go up to the top right here, and get fulfilled by the spray bar. But yeah, they're just absolutely gorgeous fish, and that yellow and blue is something, the blue in particular was something that I was looking for. It was between these guys, Prey Cox rainbows, Emperor tetras, and then like Cardinal tetras. Potentially I'm going to put green neons in this tank, which is doing fantastic, by the way. But potentially green neons might go in here, but honestly, I love how just these guys in the Epistos look. There's the female, there's the male Episto, like 13 or a dozen of these guys. And there's also an injured betta in here, which is healing up. Eventually he'll go somewhere else. We're not, maybe another tank for him. But these guys will fulfill that blue, but also a yellow that we don't really see very often in freshwater fish. Of course, we got the Rafflesia right here, but he is a yellow Rafflesia, but he's more red and orange, and that could be due to the food I feed. But this yellowish orange is not something we see very often. they're just a really, really splendid fish. And so far, it's only been a few days, but so far they're so enjoyable to watch. There's the albino threadfin, and then there's the redhead somewhere. There she is. I think she could be a male, but only two, and he's not really even an earth eater, but only earth eater in here now. I got tired of all the sand and the substrate being constantly churned up by the Jurapari because they're so big and they just churned it up a lot. And so they were huge and they were disturbing other fish, and now the substrate stays relatively not stirred up. But looking at the substrate, you have probably seen, I went on the wood too a minute ago, you've probably seen the other new fish, which they're all hiding now, of course, except there's one there, if it focus. There he is. That is not showing well, so hopefully another one will come out in a second. But there are now 9 Super Corydoras equus. Right there. Oh. So lowering the temperature was something I wanted to do for the plants, but that also opened up a few more opportunities for different cory cats. So this tank is running at 80 degrees now, and it's been like that for several weeks now, and the Discus are fine, they're eating fine, their aggression level is about the same as it was, or activity level, not necessarily just aggression, but it also lowering that temperature, so they're fine so far. We'll give it some time, maybe during the spring and summer, crank it up again, but when the plants have hopefully grown in a bit more. But it also opened up the door for a few more cory cat species, other than like the typical stir-by cory. And we got, the store, by saying we, got these Super Equus Corydoras, and I just found pictures of them online and thought them to be beautiful. So along with this new substrate, which is appearing more white, here, this helps you, but it's a tan coloration. With this new substrate, I wanted darker cory cats, and these guys fit the bill. They're just beautiful. They'll develop an orange line down their back, and then right behind their face, for a couple of centimeters, a bright orange patch, and it just looks gorgeous. I've seen the pictures online and wanted that, along with their black body, which looks fantastic against the sand. So there's 9 of them in here because they're quite small. And I'm sure, looking at the tank, if you've seen other videos, you may notice that it seems a tad emptier, and that's because there are no longer any bleeding heart tetras in here. The bleeding hearts went to a buddy of mine, a coworker. So all 9 of those guys, or however many there was, I think there was 9, all of those are now belonging in his gorgeous Planet 75. And the main tetra in this tank, this main tetra species, is the Bentosi tetra. So there are like 13 of them or something like that. The reason that I got rid of the bleeding hearts, I was just looking at this area right here, and wasn't really, that's where the bleeding hearts congregated, and the Bentosi always sat at the back, and they still kind of do, but it was curious to see that the Bentosi at the back, and I was wondering if the bleeding hearts were potentially being aggressive towards them, which is not uncommon for bleeding heart tetras. They can be a bit more aggressive side for tetras, and they were quite large. If you remember, they were, I don't know, maybe like this big, which for a tetra is a good size. As you can see, those congos are quite big too, but they may have been scaring these Bentosi tetra, and the Bentosi tetras have been something that I've really enjoyed, owning them, being super small like they are, but super active, super colorful, multiple different colors, different, that white really stands out and is gorgeous. And so they're coming out more since giving up the bleeding hearts, and it was kind of a quick decision, but I appreciate the tank more. Congos, I think, they're a beautiful fish. They are a beautiful fish, and it's just I've had them for a while now, and I'm ready to. That blue is gorgeous, but I'm ready to keep something new in this tank. The discus we're going on and off about getting rid of, just to make it easier for different variety of plants to grow, but we're working on that. Quick update to the scape, just added some of these rocks, more of the river stones. These crypts I put in pots and then stuck a root tab in the pots, and they grew huge. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this. They're growing significantly better than they were before, but going to do the same thing to this tiger lotus right here. And then there's also a tiger lotus back there. Maybe a bulb or something got buried under there, and it's starting to grow, which is fun. It'll be awesome to have a tiger lotus come out of the back. But anyway, that's the update on the 75. The new year has begun. Lots of fun things, hopefully, with these scapes. It's primarily the 75 as it evolves, as we kind of work out the kinks and whatnot. This tank might evolve too, but I'm just so happy with it and not ready to really change it. Gorgeous fish. Other than just not really ready to change it, except for like removing this duckweed, but keeping these red root floater and let them develop. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the video today. Have a great new year. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.